Hey Scouts, my name is Greg Davey, and I will be presenting the American Labor Merit Badge. I work for an employers association called the Builders Association. Our members are commercial construction companies responsible for building projects like airports, office towers, hotels, banks, schools, and stadiums. In my role as Labor Relations Director, I work with both labor and management professionals, focusing on collective bargaining, resolving grievances and job site disputes, and serving as a trustee on retirement and healthcare plans for construction workers and their families. Hopefully, by the end of today's presentation, you'll appreciate the role of labor and management in delivering projects that shape our world. Let's take a look at the American Labor Merit Badge Workbook. As this presentation progresses, please write in your answers to the questions. My intent is not to provide all the information, but to guide you in researching the answers to the questions. The first question asks you to use resources available to you to learn about working people and work-related concerns. Think about someone close to you who has a job. List some of the things that they either love about their job or complain about. If you can't think of anyone, take a look at some construction apprentices. Go to buildersassociation.com, hover over the Education tab, then Apprenticeship Programs. Explore the various occupations and listen for why these apprentices chose their careers. You will be able to identify them as working people and understand their work-related concerns. Let's take a look at a cement mason apprentice working on the Kansas City streetcar project.
My name is Lamont Curtis, and I'm with Local 518 Cement Masons. Every day is a different challenge. There's not one job that's done exactly the same. Just when you think you know everything, you run into a problem, and it's a lot of hands-on just problem solving. The apprenticeship program, it gave me an opportunity to grow and to learn new things and a new skill set that I can use in my life and to provide a career for myself and a living for my family. My teacher was a father figure as well as a teacher, and I felt like he really cared about me. He cared about, my success and doing well in this field. I'm a man with many goals and many aspirations, but my plans for the future as far as the local is concerned, I kind of get emotional about it because, it's something that really did. It helped and improved my life. And so if I were to make it to a level where I can teach a student, teach a man, a young man, a woman, I would love to do that. I've entertained the possibility of even starting my own company at some point in time, but that's later on in the future. Just kind of taking baby steps on my way up there. Construction it's challenging, but I challenge you to join a trade and stick with it. If you feel like you don't like it in the beginning, stick with it. See how far you can take it, because there's the endless possibilities. Go out there, look for the work, and it's there if you really want it. You just got to go after it.
The second question states, with your counselor's and parents' approval and permission, visit the office or attend a meeting of a local union, a central labor council, or an employee organization, or contact one of these organizations via the internet. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we're going to limit the activity to an internet search. As I previously mentioned, I work for an employers association called the Builders Association. As you can see at the top of our homepage, we provide services that include a centralized repository for building plans, education and training, safety, insurance, labor relations, government relations, marketing, and business networking to our members. If you click on Contact, you'll see the people that work for this organization, including our president, who oversees the execution of these services to our members. Now, think about how my organization might be structured. If you envision each of the 7 topics on our webpage in boxes on the bottom, with a president box over them, you'd be correct. I'd suggest moving on to question 3 at this point, and then returning to answer question 2 afterward. The third question asks you to explain to your counselor what labor unions are, what they do, and what services they provide to their members. Again, you'll be utilizing the internet in researching this question. Some search terms could include the occupation, followed by the phrase, union near me. For example, cement mason union near me. Most of the union homepages are created for the members of that union, explain the purpose of the union, their top issues, where to get information regarding their benefits, etc. Beunion.com, that's BEYOUNION.com, is another local resource with information about labor unions in the metro area. As you search, keep an eye out for the following words so you can identify them in the second part of the third question. Those terms are labor, management, collective bargaining, negotiation, union shops, open shops, grievance procedures, mediation, arbitration, work stoppages, strikes, and lockouts. The fourth question asks you to explain what is meant by the adversarial model of labor management relations, compared with a cooperative bargaining style. The two key words here are adversarial and cooperative. As you know, one's adversary is their opponent, as in Superman and Lex Luthor, or Batman and Joker. We see in the comic books and the movies that cities are destroyed as these adversaries try to settle disputes. On the other hand, being cooperative means working together. To keep with the superhero theme, picture the Justice League fighting crime together. The fifth question asks you to do one of the following four options. Option A is to develop a timeline of significant events in the history of the American labor movement from the 1770s to the present. Option B, you could prepare an exhibit, a scrapbook, a computer presentation, such as a slideshow, illustrating three major achievements of the American labor movement and how those achievements affect American workers. For either of these first two options, a simple internet search for the phrase American labor movement will yield several advancements in history that lead to the way we work today, including the 40-hour work week, required breaks, child labor laws, and minimum wage, to name a few. Option C, with your counselors' and parents' approval and permission, watch a movie that addresses organized labor in the United States. Afterward, discuss the movie with your counselor and explain what you heard. A word of caution here, since many of these movies are depicting conflict, there may be strong language and violence. Option D, read a biography with your counselor's approval of someone who has made a contribution to the American labor movement. Explain what this contribution was and how this person was significant. The sixth question asks you to explain the term globalization. I think one of the best ways to start thinking about globalization is to look for where common products are made. Take a look at the tags on the clothing you have on right now, or they're hanging in your closet. Where was your shirt made? Where were your pants made? While the logos may be American, I bet many of the countries of manufacture include China, Indonesia, and Bangladesh, to name a few. Now, take a look at the vehicle identification number on a car or truck. You can usually see it by looking through the driver's side windshield near the dash. If it starts with a 1, 4, or 5, it's made in the United States. If it starts with any other number, it is made in another country. For instance, if it starts with a 2, it's made in Canada. If it starts with a 3, it was made in Mexico. If it starts with a J, it was made in Japan. If it starts with a K, it was made in Korea. Some common American cars are often assembled in Mexico, so their VIN starts with a 3. When companies choose to make their shirts, pants, and even cars in other countries, they're doing so because it's cheaper to produce overseas and then transport the finished item to the United States. This movement and integration of goods and people among different countries is what we call globalization. The second part of question 6 asks what the impact of globalization is on the American workforce. And the third part asks you to consider how the global workforce fits into the economic system in this country. The seventh question asks you to choose a labor issue of widespread interest to American workers, an issue in the news currently or known to you from working on this merit badge. Before your counselor or in writing, argue both sides of the issue, first taking management's side, then presenting labor's or the employee's point of view. In your presentation, summarize the basic rights and responsibilities of employers and employees, including union members and non-union members. I'll give you an example. It rains on a construction site all day on a Tuesday. No work can be done and all the workers stay home. To make up for the lost day on Tuesday, it's determined that Saturday will be worked as a makeup day to keep the project on schedule. Now, management might take the position that those employees working on Saturday should be paid their regular wage rate because they have not worked 40 hours in the week and the contractor had no control over the weather. Labor may take the position that if a worker is asked to give up their Saturday to work, they should be paid overtime, even if they won't work more than 40 hours in the week. Can you see both sides' point of view? What do you think? In this case, a common solution in collective bargaining is to make the Saturday makeup day voluntary at the regular wage rate and for those employees that choose to work. The eighth question asks you to discuss with your counselor the different goals that may motivate the owners of a business, its stockholders, its customers, its employees, the employees' representatives, the community, and public officials. Explain why agreements and compromises are made and how they affect each group in achieving its goals. I imagine there's some sort of construction going on near you. For this question, you could choose that project and think through those elements. Let's say there's a school being remodeled or updated. Oftentimes, the students, teachers, and community leaders are the drivers behind wanting the school to be improved. Since they occupy the school from August to May, construction work needs to take place over the summer months. The ninth question encourages you to learn about opportunities in the field of labor relations. Choose one career in which you're interested. Discuss it with your counselor, the major responsibilities of that position, and the qualifications, education, and training such position requires. ONET is a great resource provided by the U.S. Department of Labor, which shows all of this information for thousands of occupations. Just go to onetonline.org and type in several occupations in the search window in the top right of the screen. For example, if you were to type in labor relations in the top right search window, the first item that appears is labor relations specialist. As you can see, this person is responsible for negotiating collective bargaining agreements, monitoring company or workforce adherence to those labor agreements, presenting the position of the company or of labor during arbitration or other labor negotiations, writing letters related to labor relations activities such as letters to amend collective bargaining agreements, letters of dispute or conciliation, or letters seek clarification of contract terms, drafting contract proposals or counter proposals for collective bargaining or other labor negotiations. Well, that's it for the American Labor Merit Badge presentation. I hope you learned something watching this video, and that you'll be digging into your research to learn more about the contributions that American workers make to our society and how management and labor work together to accomplish their goals. Be sure to get in contact with your counselor after this presentation and ask them any questions you may have. Thanks so much, best of luck, and stay safe.